Hi everyone, I'm Manish Pandey and welcome back to the UiPath Agentic Automation video series. In the previous video, we explored UiPath Studio Web and we created one small demo using RPA workflow. And I hope you are familiar with the UiPath Studio Web now. Now let's create our very first UiPath agent and also understand each and every option you see in the agent builder or the agent workspace. And if you are a beginner, then understanding these terms are very important. So let's get started. So here we are using UiPath Studio Web to build an agent. So let's click on create new and select agent. Here you see UiPath gives us two options. Either we start phrase or use autopilot to generate an agent for us. Since we are learning basics, I will use start first. This is the place where we design our agent. Here you notice UiPath has given default system and user prompts to understand what should we write here, because many of you like still confused. What should I write in the system prompt? What should I write in the user prompt? So UiPath has given here the default prompts. I will also explain each and every terms you see on the screen, from the left panel, from right side, from bottom, this defined resources, everything, each and every term like definitions, evaluation set, evaluators, apps, assets, and that this generals like system prompts, user prompts, tools, context, escalations, and the right side. So everything that I will explain here. So stay tuned. Let's understand one by one here. From the top panel, say here you can redo or undo the actions that you are doing. You can debug the agent here, debug this project basically, and then debug a step by step. If you want to debug this step by step, so that you can check how agent is behaving at each stage. So you can debug this. And then once you are done with the testing and designing of the agent, you can publish it. Here you see submit as a template. Using this, you can submit your agent, this project, as a template. So you can save this as a template so that it can be reused later, or you can share that with others. We have an option share. Share is like sharing the project with other team members. Now, left side you see four options: project explorer, data manager, issues panel, and deployment configuration. First, we'll click on Project Explorer. So Project Explorer is the place where you can organize and build your agent. You can define the prompts, tools, context, escalations, and add the resources to your agents. And here it has two components: Explorer and then defined resources. First, we'll talk about the Explorer. Okay, Explorer basically is a container where you can add the agents or apps or RPA workflow, agentic processes, etc. by clicking on the add button, and you can even search within this solutions. Now you see here one folder called solution. This is like a folder for your project where all your agent work is saved. You can even add multiple agents in one solution by clicking on add and click agent, and you see multiple agents can be added here, and this can be deleted as well. Now inside the solution we see agent. As we are working on building the agent, then let's talk about agent. Okay, so this is your actual project, that is your agent project which you are going to build. And whenever you see this icon, it looks like a box and it has a star and then two dots. This is actually an agent. And under this agent, you see three options: definition, evaluation sets, and evaluators. First, definition. Definition is the place where we define what the agent is, what it should do, what extra tools it can use, what information it can access, and how it should handle the situation where it gets stuck. And the definition contains the following sections like general, tools, context, escalations. First, you see general. Here you can define the prompts for your agents. It has two important options: system prompts and user prompts. System prompts tell the agents how it should behave and what its roles and responsibility are, what agents should do and what should not do. Think of it like giving a job description to a customer support employee. For example, you are a helpful customer support agent. Always answer politely and give step by step solution. This is the default one. It says that you are an agentic assistant. Now, user prompt. A user prompt is the request or questions that the user gives to the agent. It is like telling the employee, please solve this task for me. Same, we are asking agent like what is the current date. So this is our question for the agent. Let's take few use cases. So let's say we have a patient assistant agent. So its role will be collect patient information before the doctor meets. So system prompt will be you are a medical assistant, always keep the data confidential and ask basic health questions. And what will the user prompt? User prompt will be user will ask I have fever and headache, right? So based on that, based on these questions, this agent will reply. Correct? Now let's understand this system prompt and user prompt with other use cases. We have a travel planner agent, which role is to help users plan the trips with the flights, hotels, etc. Now, system prompt will be you are a travel assistant. Suggest affordable flights, hotels, and activities based on the user preferences. Now, what will be the user prompts? User can ask plan a 3-day trip to Goa under 20,000 rupees. Now, let's move to tools. Let's understand these tools in a simple way. Let's say if I am far from my home or office and someone asks me to build an UiPath agent, then I will not able to do that because I don't have my tools with me like laptops, Wi-Fi dongles, etc. And without access to my laptop bag, I can only guide you how to build an agent, but I cannot act now. Same way, this agent without tools, it can just reply. So if I am asking what is the current date, it can reply with the date. If you give me my laptop bag, which has the laptop and Wi-Fi dongles inside that, then I can easily build an agent because now I have the tools, right? So here understand that laptop bag is tools which has all the required equipment to work on like laptop bag and dongles, correct? Same way in the tools, if it has access to the automations, other automations or other agents, activities or API workflow, then it can easily work on. So same way, tools are like giving your agent extra powers to take action. Without tools, agent is just a smart chatbot which can read your prompts, think and reply, but not act. And with the tools, agent is more than a chatbot. Now it can connect to the external systems like ServiceNow, Salesforce, Jira, Slack, Microsoft Teams, and agent can run the RPA workflow. Even agent can call another agent. Okay, so you are good with these tools, right? Now let's understand context. Context simply means giving your agent some background information or the reference material so it can give better answers. In UiPath, we can add such reference information using indexes in the UiPath orchestrator. We can even connect the agent to a different data source like Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint, or Dropbox, etc. When the agent gets the questions, it looks into that context and reply more accurately. Think of it like if someone asks me, who is the manager of project XYZ? I can only answer correctly if I have the project documents with me. And those documents act as a my context. Or if user asks how many sick leaves are allowed in our company, agent doesn't know this from the prompt, because for that it needs to look into the HR policy document. So what you need to do, you need to upload the HR policy or leave policy documents as a context by adding the index or connect to the SharePoint or the Google Drive, OneDrive, where the leave policy are stored. And then once you'll ask questions, then the agent will look into that context, means that document, and then it can reply correctly. Now we have escalations. Escalations is the process where an agent hand over the decision making part to a human for review and approval before taking any important actions, or when it is not sure. And this is called human in the loop, HITL. Imagine you are a bank cashier. So, for the small transactions like 500 rupees withdrawal, you process directly, right? But if someone asks to withdraw 5 lakhs rupees, then you stop and then you escalate that to the your branch manager for the approval, right? Same way, the cashier is your agent and the branch manager is the escalation person. So that agent will escalate that cases. Escalation requires an action app. Here you see an option action app, because escalations requires an action app to serve as an interface between the agent and the human reviewer. And without action app, this will not work, because the agent has no way to hand over the task to human. Now, one important options you see here, agent memory enable, that is in the preview mode. You can enable the agent memory so the agent remembers the past escalations and avoid repeating them. Now, let's move back to the previous. You see evaluation sets. Okay. So now we are done with designing the or defining the rules and regulation of the agents. Okay. Then we'll move to the evaluation sets. This step is basically validating the logic before deployment and check whether it's working as expected. For this, we use evaluation sets. You can think of evaluation sets as a collection of test cases designed to evaluate how well your agent performs under the different conditions. They help you identify if your agent is ready to go live or it still needs some fine tuning. Let's take an example of an agent who handles date related query. So for this, evaluation sets will be like valid current date query, means this is like a testing, you are going to test that. So what scenario you are going to take? So we can say first scenario, first test cases, first evaluation set as a valid current date query. Then what will be the input for an agent? Agent will ask what is the current date. So what should be the output? So the output should be the agent should respond with the current date, correct? So this is the first valid scenario, valid evaluation set. Now another, let's say this is something related to the specific date information query. So let's say input for an agent is when was the Declaration of Independence signed? Then output will be output, the expected output should be the agent should respond that it can provide general information about the historical dates but may not have the most up to date information. Now, third evaluation set is the some irrelevant query response. Let's say for the agent, the input will be what is the capital of India? Then what should be the expected output? The output should be the agent should politely inform that user that this is designed to provide information about the date and cannot answer unrelated questions. So it should not attempt to answer these type of queries, because the agent is built only for handling date related query. So it's not like we have created an agent for travel related query, but someone is asking related to the some other things, right? That is not related. That's irrelevant, we can say. So these type of things we need to test here using the evaluation sets. Let's go to the evaluators. So as we are done with we have created our test cases, we created our evaluation sets. Now we'll move to the evaluators, because now we are done with the answers, the expected output from the agents based on the evaluation sets. Evaluators are the judges of your agent. After running the evaluation sets, they check if the agent's output is correct or not. Now imagine your agent is reading the invoices, and sometime one invoice say laptop, another says portable computer. So a strict evaluator will say these are different and mark it wrong. But the LLM as a judge evaluator understand that both are same, so it will still pass the test. Even the wording is different. And that's why for the cases where meanings matter, LLM as a judge is the right choice. And you see here that two default evaluators already created, one for the trajectory evaluators where the category is trajectory, and the second default evaluator category is LLM as a judge. Now move further with the defined resources. If you'll mouse over on this, then you see defined resources. We'll collapse this, this will be collapsed. So defined resources means any resources used in your project like apps, contexts, assets, business rules, connections, queues, processes, storage buckets, etc. This automatically gets listed here. So let me show you one. So let's say I'm going to right click on this solutions. First select that and then right click and then click on app, or like click on RPA workflow, or you can like go to the explorer and then click on plus and then you can add here. So once you'll add here one another project inside this solution, you see it has one agent and another RPA workflow added here. So you cannot add here the process. You cannot add any resources here. Now let's move to the other option from the left side, that is data manager. So based on the project, you see the options here. So I selected RPA workflow, so I can see variables, arguments, entities. But let's move to our agent, because now we are working on agents. Delete this RPA workflow and then move to the data manager. Got it. I don't want you to confuse here. So what is data manager? Data manager is a place basically where you can manage the input and output for an agent. Got it? Another panel is issues panel. Here you can see the design time issues or broken configurations or failed test runs. Let's say if you'll remove these things, so it says that this is required. So it will show you in the issues panel. See, system prompt is required. Now if you'll delete user prompts, you see other. So you see all the issues in your project that is listed here. Next, we have deployment configuration. Here you can configure all the components of the projects: process name, description, package name, and package version. Now we'll move right side. So right side, you see 4 to 5 options based on your selection. Like we see properties panel, health score, run output, autopilot, and then we also see watch panel. Okay, let's understand one by one. First is the properties panel. Here you can see the details of whatever items you have currently selected, and it's basically setting page for the selected component. So currently I have selected agent, so the property is the agent settings. And here you see 4 things here: model, temperature, and then maximum tokens per response, and then available units. From these models, we have a list of models available. So we have a UiPath models like GPT-4o. We can select that, or you can use custom model. Second, we have a temperature. This controls the creativity versus the precision of the model's response. Low temperature means more focused and consistent answer. High temperature means more flexible and more creative response. Next, maximum tokens per answer. This defines the length of the agent's response between 0 to 4096 per response. For example, a small value equal to short answer, and the large value like 4096 means the longer and detailed response. Next, you see available units. This shows how many units available in your UiPath license. Here you can see the health score of the agent and each options like, so this is like you see weighted score calculations. It has the prompts, then tools, input schema, as evaluations. So here this is 36 for prompt. It is 36. This is 100%. 100%. This is 0. Now we have a run output. Run output, basically here you can see the live logs and outputs when you run or debug the agent inside the Studio Wave. And then you see autopilot. So whenever you need help with this agent, you can ask questions, you ask autopilot. This is in the preview mode for now. Sometimes we get another options here, that is watch panel. So if you'll get that watch panel means you can see the value of variables and expressions during the debugging that you will see in the UiPath Studio as well. Now at the bottom you see three options: execution trail, history, and then evaluations. Execution trail shows the step-by-step actions your agent took during the run. And you can see agent run, like the agent started, LLM call, like agent asked the LLM like a GPT-4o to process the user prompt, and then you see the agent output, like what will the final answer returned from the that LLM. You see the output, and then this is history. So this will have the past record of all the runs. So first time you are running here, then this detail will be stored in the history. Then you are running one more time, so that history that will be added again here. So we'll have a two. So the history of runs. Now evaluations. So here check if the agent passed or failed against the test cases. That is the evaluations. Now you understood each and every term. Now let's start building this agent. So this agent is for handling the current date, handling the date related query. So our system prompt will be you are an agentic assistant, and user prompt is what is the current date. Now if you want to run this, you want to debug this, for that you have to click on this debug the project. Or if you want to debug step by step, you can do that. So let's debug step by step and see what is happening. Okay. Now see, right side in the output you see the logs, and here you can download the logs. Currently it's running, and then if you click on this filter by severity, you can select what do you need. If you uncheck all, you can see everything here. Now I need info, warning, error, and fatal. Now currently it has started. It says that provisioning the resource provisioning failed. There is some issue here. Let's refresh this. Okay, it seems like when I pressed F5 from my keyboard, then it just debug here. F5, you see, F5 is debug the project. Now you see here the logs. You can download the logs, and from here the execution trail. You can see execution trace. You can download these details in the JSON format. You see LLM call. It is using GPT-4o, this version, community agent. Then agent output. So this is the time it has taken. LLM has taken like 1.49 second. And then here's the agent output. You see LLM call and then metadata. The token uses temperature. What is the temperature set? So based on this, it has taken that. So that time it was set as a 0.94. That's why. And then you see the content. Content basically is the output, that response coming from the LLM. So whenever I will run that, you see my units will be decreased here, that deducted from here. So we have created this agent. And now if we are done with this, we can click on publish. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video is very useful for you.